So here's how you can tell if a fish is nice and fresh. The eyes should be clear and not sunken. And then if we pull back here, look at the gills, should be nice, pinkish red. And then the aroma, when you smell the fish, it should smell like the sea and not like fish. So here's how you would buy a whole salmon at a grocery store. I'm going to show you how to fillet it, bone it, and skin it. So we're going to start off by lifting up the flap and opening it up. I'm going to put my knife and cut through to the center of the fish. And here I'm going to be hitting a bone. So I'm going to turn my knife 90 degrees and I'm going to follow along the bone all the way along the salmon right to the back. And now we're going to lift off that fillet and do the same to the other side. So I'm going to turn over the salmon, lift up the flap, put my knife behind the fin there and go right through to the middle till I hit the bone, turn my knife to a 90-degree angle and work it all the way down the salmon, all the way to the end. And there's our second fillet. So now I have the two fillets. I'm going to work with one of them. So I'm going to pick this one. What I want to do is I want to take all of these bones off that are on the inside of the belly. So I'm going to put my knife underneath the first few bones and I'm going to follow it along with my knife pushing up against the bones. And you can do it in a few different strokes. Don't have to do it all at once. You're just going to be pulling back, cutting through those bones, open it up, and there we have, we're at the belly part, we're going to cut that all the way through, cut that off. What I use to cut this salmon is, you want a fairly long blade and a narrow blade as well. So use the narrowest one that you would have at home. Make sure it's sharp. Next, what we want to do is we want to take all of these little bones out, and basically you'll find them about a third of the way from the edge of the fish. And you want to take a nice pair of tweezers, work your way along the bones to lift them up slightly, and then we're going to start pulling them out one after the other. And here we're pulling out the little bones. Got a little piece of paper here that I'm using just to hold the bones. Next, what we want to do is bring my knife underneath and pushing against the bones all the way towards the back, doing it in multiple strokes. You don't have to do this all in one go. Pushing back. Now I'm going to lift up here and I'm going to cut away this belly and towards the back here we have a fin. I'm going to push that away. To skin the fish, I'm going to cut into the right at the tail here because I need to hold on to something. Then I'm going to turn the knife onto a 90-degree angle while holding the skin. I'm going to go backwards and forwards slowly while pushing the knife towards the other end of the salmon. So moving the knife backwards and forwards while pulling on the skin, we're going to separate the skin from the flesh. And here we have the salmon flesh separated from the skin. So let me tell you when you would use the salmon skinless and when you would use it with the skin on. So if you're doing a cedar plank salmon, you want to leave the skin on against the cedar, or if you are barbecuing the salmon, you want to leave the skin on, or if you're roasting it whole. When you want to cut it up into smaller pieces, for instance for a mild curry, you would cut the salmon into smaller 1-inch dice. And that's how you mix in a little India.